Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Sara Simmonds, and in each episode, we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, I'm very excited to be joined by Sara Simmonds, founder of Impact Innovator OS, an online education platform helping founders with purpose to make a difference in our world, scale to 1 and 50 million in revenue. Sara's work sits at the intersection of leadership, mindset, and self-doubt, helping people stop playing small and start showing up with conviction in their careers, their business, and their lives. Sara, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure, Olivia. It's wonderful to be here with you guys.
Thank you so much, and it's such a pleasure to have you here. I really appreciate your time. So, Sara, with all of my guests, I do like to start at the beginning of their journey. So if you don't mind briefly taking me back to what it was you was doing before you started up the company, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
Of course. So I started my journey as a buyer in the fashion industry. I grew up seeing the positive side that the products we make, the businesses we make can have on our world. My dad was a pioneer of purpose-led business in the textile industry in the UK. So I was like, yeah, I believe so much in the products that we make, which I still believe today can make a massive impact. So I went to uni and I majored top in my year in buying behavior. And then I landed my first dream job, which was to work as a buyer for one of the world's most amazing luxury retailers of the time called Harvey Nichols. And I worked for them for many years, for about 7 or 8. And then I reached a point in my career, which many of us do, where you are at a crossroads. Do you want to carry on to rise to the top, or do you want to take a new journey as an entrepreneur? And significant things, I think, always happen in our lives. It was a moment in time when my bosses, my buying director said, "You will be our boss one day, Sara." And the chairman of our company said, "You're one of the best buyers we've ever seen." But I was in showrooms that were just getting busier and busier, full of products and full of waste, basically, because as a buyer, I realized we only buy less than 1% of what we're shown. And that applies to every single person who buys anything. The rest is waste. And so it was at that point where I made the major decision in my life to take a different route and say, I don't want to be part of this problem where we spend $50 trillion plus on stuff, products and services that many of which we don't need a year. I want to be part of the solution. So it was at that point that my journey into purpose-led business began.
I love that. So really like looking for the need. So like, in a sense, I didn't know that was such a big, what's the word I'm looking for, percentage of buyers that kind of goes unnoticed. I didn't realize that at all. So with that intention and then obviously stepping into entrepreneurship, how did you find that transition? Harvey Nichols is a big store, a big company to be working for. So how did you find that moving into your own kind of field and your own lane?
That is a really great question, Olivia, because the reason why it's a great question is because I think many people who work in corporate world think, yeah, I'll just go and launch my own business and be an entrepreneur. But what they realize when it comes to selling yourself is that it's a massive difference when you've had a massive organization behind you to leave and create a business of your own and have kind of nothing behind you, no big name. So I found it really challenging. And it is actually what gave me the big part of the solution I give founders today. The first step of the solution I give, which is like 4 steps. The first is that you need to, as a founder, build yourself as a category of one, which kind of comes from, that idea of having this big name behind you. When you become a founder, you don't have that big name behind you. So you have to create it. A great phrase I heard from one of my favorite mentors, Dr. Joe Dispenza, is, no one will do this for you. You have to do it yourself.
Yeah, and that's such great advice. Like for any listeners to pay attention, it's so true. You have to go out there and do the work. And as you say, founders, entrepreneurs find themselves in a position where they think they're in control of their life. It's a very easy job, but there's so much work that goes into it, so much learning, so many processes as well that you have to stay on top of. It is that never-ending kind of juggling hats the whole way through. But that uniqueness and what you help people with is what I'm interested in today. So let's dive into the business a little bit more, Sarah. So at this point on, who would you say is your ideal client? Like who do you very, very much love to work with the most? And then from there, how would you help them and how would you support them along their own journey?
So, ideal client, another great question because it's another key part that I teach founders. You have to be so obsessed with who your ideal client is because we live in this brilliant digital world, which means we can access anyone, anywhere, anytime. And that means a great opportunity, but it also means we can waste lots of time. So my ideal client is purpose-led founders. That is founders who have a mission to make our world a better place. My ideal client is also conscious entrepreneurs, conscious coaches. Again, people who are just looking at the world differently.
Yeah.
And my third ideal client is innovators. So innovators creating new products, services, and solutions. And they're like, how on earth do I sell and scale this?
And what is that typical thing that obviously what that founders tend to come to you with? Like what's that first initial spark that they're reaching out to Sarah for help with?
Clarity on what their buyers actually want.
Okay.
So, what I help founders see is their business from the inside out when they're struggling and they're going, gosh, I have this amazing product, service, or innovation or solution, but I wish I could just wrap it up in a way that made sense to the people who I want to sell this to. And what I do is not only give them one roadmap to do that, that's very simple. I also give them, and my team do, we give the buyer's inside edge. So we look at every founder, every business, everyone we work with and go, what does this, we help them unlock what it means to their dream buyer. Then we help them simplify it and systemize it. So they get massive clarity. So that's the first thing we solve. And I think the first thing we help with is giving the founders clarity on what their buyers actually want from everything that they do.
So really putting yourself in that buyer's position or in that consumer point of view, and how can we really serve them and get that customer to them, but keeping that unique edge they have. And as you go going back to like what you said before, it is so much harder stepping into your own self and backing your own beliefs without having a big company behind you. So I feel like a lot of founders do have to have that like inner work and that mindset as well to really just trust and know that they are the brand moving forward. So with the 4 steps that you walk through the program, like what does that look like? What kind of does it all entail?
So the first step is everything is wrapped up in my mastermind, which is called Impact Innovator OS. And anyone can find me, Sara Simmonds, on LinkedIn or on my website, sarasimmons.com, to see that. The first step is that we help founders in the first 30 days get clarity on what makes them unique. And we build for them a category of one status. So I use that word status very carefully because this is something that goes beyond positioning. Category of one, from a buyer's point of view, is everything that you do. So we help unlock within a founder how to take them from basically saying something like, I make organic food, which isn't unique, to I make real food and things the French way. That is what I call a category of one. We do that in the first 30 days so that they can then align and streamline all their social media, all their website, everything they do, and know how to speak about themselves really quickly and simply. And so results just in that first 30 days for founders is that they're able to sell themselves.
Yeah.
We're on your amazing selling podcast. They're able to say in 5 seconds, hey, I make real food and think the French way. And they get new buyers, they get new funders. That's the first thing we do. The second step is we look at everything that they offer and then, say that that's a coach. We help the coach simplify and productize their offer to what I call a high impact offer. So that's our second step. We convert the business into a high impact offer, whether they're a product business, services business, SaaS business, or a coach. We help them see from the buyer's point of view, this is the part of your business to focus on. That's their high impact offer. And that immediately gets them to be a more profitable business, and it gets them amazing results. Like we've had founders come and have no idea like how to streamline, how to simplify what they do. And within around 90 days, they've had gone from 0 to 300K sellout launches using this first and second step. The third step we do is we help the founder sell socially, which I call social selling campaigns. So founders generally hate putting themselves out there as thought leaders, and they hate making content. And I agree, it's really overwhelming. What we do is we simplify that into a systemized process that makes it much more fun and simple to do because we focus and obsess over their ideal client, as you said. And we help the founder basically do what they love rather than they hate. We help them be, make a connection with people. And we show them how to make those connections in a real way that feels authentic to them. So we make selling online and offline really fun and social. And we give them a system to do that. And at the same time, we help them build organic partnerships and amazing influence in that step. So again, we've taken brands that are overlooked and we've helped them through that step become number one in their niche. And like get the top influencers, say in Asia, one of our members wearing their collections, which is actually one of the things I'm wearing today. And in that same with a coach, we've helped them go from like unknown to getting awarded like number one personal development book of the year. And the fourth step is we help the founder, once they get this really clear roadmap in place, we help them then systemize this in a very simple way that's all in-house. So it means that they can run their operations really simply without having to rely on outside experts or agencies. We help them have a one simple system in-house that then they can have team members all around the world, as we now know, remote teams running their business in a simple way that everybody understands, so everybody is aligned.
I love that. So literally touching every step of the sales process as well, because people often forget that front end piece, mentioning there the ICP, making sure you're being heard, seen as that specialist online. It all kind of all ties in together. So I love that every step is very much covered, helping that founder really become and seen, as you say, in that unique, that one of one person. It's a tricky step and people often forget it, but I'm interested to see how you go about marketing yourself. Obviously, you have a lot of experience and you have other people do the same thing. So, in terms of like acquiring your own customers, how are you going about doing that at the moment? Like, what is working well for you in terms of channels or methods?
That's a great question. Well, I apply everything I teach. So, what's working well for us is personalized approach every single time and obsessing over our ideal client. So, I literally put in place my own social selling campaigns, and this helps me do like multiple six-figure launches and then be scaling that now with an amazing team. So the first thing I really focus on, I say get the foundations right to everybody, which are the steps that I've shared. Be a category of one, have a high impact offer, and then put your social selling campaign in place, which for me always starts on LinkedIn. I think that's a great place if you're doing like founder to founder. That's where we found each other, Olivia, and your team connected with me. So apply everything first to LinkedIn. Get your foundations right. Choose one social media channel first. So for other people, it might be Instagram first, but start getting your story out there. Then the next thing that I really obsess over is just telling stories. When you've got clear on why your category of one, what your high impact offer is, what your own mission is, tell stories that really connect to people and don't worry about being perfect or polished. I actually find the more real you are, the more you just involve people along the way, tell people about your holidays, your friendships, what you did yesterday. and mix that in with actually the business approach that you're doing. Talk about like problems and in your own life and how you solved it with your own solution that actually really connects to people. I had a founder who joined our program last month and she said, "Oh my God, I couldn't wait to get on a call with you, Sarah, and your amazing team because you wrote on your post like you were going hiking in Patagonia." And I was like, "Is she going to be okay? Has she got the right outfit?
Yeah.
Is she going to be warm enough? I hope she's got some great insurance with her." So when you actually just tell stories with people and you do socially connect to them, you you build a rapport. So, trust is a big thing that everyone's talking about in 2026. And how do you build trust is by sharing stories about your life, showing people that you're real. The next thing we do is we run a masterclass, and it's a big part of social selling that I teach founders. Every business needs what I call an event, which is a linchpin to underpin your whole sales year around. Have something that you do every single month, even twice a month, to actually attract people to you where you're giving real value. And we do that in a 90-minute masterclass that we run every 2 weeks, where I share the 5 virtually unknown buyer secrets on how to scale to 1 to 50 million and beyond. And yeah, then the last part, what we're doing is we're systemizing everything, making it so simple that I can have amazing SDRs and amazing closers working with me and doing calls and doing, outreach campaigns without me being there while I'm making content climbing mountains for us.
I love that. I literally climbing mountains, which is really cool. But it is, I feel like a lot of founders, a lot of people in general are scared of just putting themselves online. It's that kind of imperfection they look for, which I think is so key in building trust. As you said yourself, it is that those flaws in humanity that people really want to see sometimes. It really does have that effect. And you attract that right kind of person as well when you're sharing your personal journey and your story, the people that actually want to work with you. And do you run any form of like paid advertisements or any campaigns or online just to keep a constant lead flow, like keep it very nice and consistent?
We are about to launch that soon. So again, it's a really important point I share with founders. I say like focus on getting the foundations right and everything that you're doing organically working. When your foundation is right, when you have one solid system in place, when everything is working organically, when you have a great social selling campaign, a great event that you run, when all of that is cool and when you absolutely know who your ideal client is, then is the perfect moment to start doing ads. And that's where we are now.
I love it. So, and again, it's just that next stage above, isn't it? Once you have the house of cards set in concrete, you really want to just build on top of that and see how far you can go. And I know you mentioned that you do have a little bit of a team, so we have closers and SDRs in place. So, like, what does the back end look like? How are you getting helped out, Sarah, amongst juggling the hats amongst yourself?
Um, So, I think building a team is one of the hardest things for founders to do, and how to hire the right people. And for me, this was a real game changer. What I did to build the right team was again to build the right system.
Yeah.
So giving team members who you want to hire absolute clarity of what your business does, absolute clarity on the role that you want for them and the system that you have set up for them is the game changer. So I hired and fired many people in the past until I put this system in place because you want to set up everybody to win. So once that system was in place, then it's about looking for the right team members who are really aligned to your vision. So everybody who is on my team cares about purpose first, making money second. That's the key thing. Because if you just want to focus on making money, go somewhere else. What I've always cared about is the blend between having an impact and making money. And we hire people who have that same vision that's very aligned. And I think having an aligned team that also understand that results don't happen literally overnight and that are in your business because they care about your mission, and they also want to learn and grow with you. Every team member we have now is really enjoying that we are scaling, and they're enjoying seeing the systems we put in place and the results that we have. And I also give back to every person who joins my team in terms of not just great financial benefits, but also helping support them and nurture them because I am a mentor and I mentor each of my team members too.
I love that. So it's a really lovely, healthy like work environment. And also just to like piggyback on what you said, it is having that purpose drive instead of financial drive is such a better mindset to have because everything else will follow. If you just care about helping people and doing your job to the best of your ability, making sure the client's fulfilled, making sure that you're doing Sarah justice, everything else will come tenfold. If you just really focus on that kind of aspect of life. And it is I feel like a lot of founders struggle handing over roles and jobs within a business. It's almost like that precious baby that they're looking to get over. But as you say, having that alignment throughout the team and just knowing that their vision is your vision as well is a nice, secure place to be in a business and as an owner. But obviously, Sarah, we're now at the start of 2026. So there's a big year coming up. And like, what are your plans and what are your visions for the business as you like look to take those next steps? Like, what is that goal you have for the next 6 to 12 months?
So, great question. And last week in my Q&A session with our members, I laid out how the best way I've found to successfully implement your year ahead. And it's with a one-page plan. That's it. You're not allowed to go over one page. So my plan is very, 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 very simple. And that's what I really share with everybody listening to write a one-page plan that is so simple that everybody understands your plan, including yourself. There's many things that we can do, but the key to really achieving your goals is to simplify what you do and say no to different things. So, my plan is to scale what we're doing, our amazing mastermind that is very unique and it is very limited. We're not serving thousands of founders. We're invite only. We invite only up to 2 founders a month at the moment to join our program. My goal is being very hands-on with our members and my team to scale slowly and sustainably. So everything that I do is underpinned by helping founders build sustainable growth, which, you talked about mindset earlier, is to do things slowly, steadily, going in the right direction. I look at things for the long haul and longevity of myself as a founder too, longevity of our members as founders themselves to scale without burnout. And, we underestimate what we can achieve in 10 years and overestimate what we can achieve in 1 year. So key is to just do what you're doing and do it systematically. And I have our goals in place, our numbers in place. Everybody knows that in my team. But I also say to my team, take the pressure off. This is the goal. We have it every month. Let's see how we do every month and just make incremental improvements. And I find that that really is a successful method. And I teach our members how to do that too. And then my plan is to really share my story with the world this year. So I will be speaking in different places, appearing on different podcasts. We will be launching our newsletter soon, and growing that. And again, keeping things ridiculously simple.
Love it. And that does, as you say, that is like the overwhelm is that cause of burnout. So just being that 1% better every day is such a nice, sustainable approach to growth, whether you are in business, whether it's in health, whether it's with yourself and your mindset, it is just how can we get up and be a little bit better each day and just keep yourself moving forward. And I really enjoy the process and the plan moving forward. But where are you finding like the biggest challenge for yourself at the moment, Sarah, in taking that next step? You seem to take everything in your stride, again, which is a great mindset to have.
My biggest challenge is, balancing fast and slow.
Okay.
So you want to, reach whatever goals. Every founder wants to reach whatever goals they want to reach in the fastest possible time. And I'm no different, right? We're all human. But so my biggest challenge is going, but allow things to take their time in the time they take, right? That doesn't mean going slow on purpose. That means just, again, creating very thorough foundations in every single thing that you do. So every day, or whenever, I get those moments of frustration, oh, I wish we could just do that faster, or I wish that thing would just work. Or, every once in a while, everything will go wrong. There'll be a tech crash, something will happen. This happened to us just yesterday. And it's human nature to kind of go, oh, that's so frustrating. But you just have to take a step back and say, it's all right. Just allow the process. And so I think that's a big challenge as well, is making sure you have, as a founder, the right mindset. And, I train founders. The fifth element, actually, which I didn't mention with my program that underpins everything I do, is mindset training. And so as I say, I'm not a founder, or I'm not a business mentor that just says do this and I do something else. Everything I say, I'm the guinea pig. I do it on myself. So yeah, mindset underpins everything, and challenging, doing it right from having to go fast.
Yeah, so and it is all that and being intentional with your time as well, as you say, well, how can we make the most out of this? And it's not going to stress and worry over the time that it takes. If you know you've done it to your best, it will just get there and trust in the process. Again, we're coming back to that same word. The trust is coming back out. And Sarah, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out best to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do so?
SaraSimmonds.com. So that's SaraSimmonds.com. That's the best place. You can also reach out on LinkedIn, Sara Simmonds, and on Instagram, Sara Simmonds London.
Amazing. Sara Simmonds all over the place. To our listeners, and again, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to go and check out Sara Simmonds, Sara Simmonds London IG, and Sara Simmonds everywhere else you go. I'm sure she'd love to hear from you. And please do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from $0 to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing, and we will see you on the next one.